Pretty good, not bad. We made a couple poor decisions there, Speedy did. Bad punt into some wind with people in his face. Every one of those opportunities, we're going to do it again Wednesday, and then we'll do it again Friday. Every one of those, we came back today and cleaned it up. We just worked with him here after practice. He's conscientious. He has great ball skills. He's going to be a weapon for us. And with Devontae have to sit out right now and just not being able to get the reps, we're also looking at some of the younger guys just in a role. But, Laquiviate's come a long way in the punt return game. We put him out there against UTEP, and it was tough. It was the first real couple weeks that he caught punts, and we found that as a way maybe in the second half to get him in there to gain some of this type of experience. Unfortunately, he dropped one of them, and so then, boom, we had to put Lab in, and it was kind of tough for him from an up and down emotional standpoint. Speedy has got that range. He makes plays daily that you say, wow. And so it's not going to be any different in the return game. I think what will be different is because he's back there. A lot of guys up front are going to work tremendously hard at holding guys up. And then with that, you got Quiv, who's kind of a straight line, real fast game breaker if he gets in the open field. So I like the versatility between the two guys going forward, because you can't have a 1 week plan. You kind of have to have a 15-week plan. And so we're going to keep working with those two. And then Nick and Jamal have seemed to be the best rookies on the punt return unit so far. And Nick, matter of fact, caught one for the other team this weekend where he turned his back on a 65-yard Drew Kaiser punt, caught it over his head, flipped, turned, and returned it about 25 without being touched. So he's shown the skill level, and I think that's what you have to have. You got to be able to track the ball. You got to be able to secure it. You have to be able to get up the field. I think those are the three guys right now that we're really excited about with Speedy being in the front.
Jeff, how much and in what ways do you foresee Cam Clear's role changing in the offense?
Well, we did some off-season stuff, as far as studying and really trying to get a better role for him or figure out what else we can do to not only try to gain numbers in the box in the run game, but also expose him to more routes and to have him be a primary pass receiver in certain sets. And so with that, on going to Ohio State and Clemson and continue to investigate NFL stuff between the Broncos and the Packers and the Patriots and how they use all their tight ends on video, Coach Spavital has done a great job along with our staff of investigating ways. And so we're creating ways to get him some mismatches and get him open in the passing game. I see his role increasing. I see his role has already increased in practice. Usually in a 40, 50-play script, he'd be in, 10 or 12 plays. He's in probably 20 to 25, so it's twice as much usage in practice. So he's ready for it. He's a senior. It's not new to him. He's done some really, really good things in Southeastern Conference play last season, and he's had some other things that he's had to learn from. And I think now he's kind of the complete package, both blocking and passing, pass receiving. And the quarterbacks find him pretty friendly down there, him and Ricky, and so I think his role is going to increase.
How much do you think Ricky Seals-Jones is going to do a little more of what you coach and then a little bit of the slide? Do you know what percentage maybe?
Yeah, it's hard to tell because Cam can do it every down if he needed to. As his conditioning wears down, I think that would be part of it. I think the other part of it is that, hey, Ricky's kind of that hybrid guy. He could be a mismatch on safeties because he's so big and he's faster than linebackers. I mean, he's just one of those rare athletes that's got the size and the speed to kind of mismatch either group, the safety group that's going to cover him or the linebacker. Ricky's going to be in there on that, and he does a nice job of it. We're worried about having such a package for Cam, and if something happened, who would be that guy, or do we throw it out? And so that's the beauty of it, is that we've got another guy that's worked it 6-8 reps a day in team, blocking, pass receiving, doing the whole package. So I like that. And Ricky's really bought into it and willingly wanted to do it to help the football team, but also figuring out, hey, it's kind of easier to run routes on some of these guys that can't cover as well. And so that's been kind of good to see him have success.
Does Cameron figure to have a bigger role, or maybe I should say make a bigger impact as a receiver than as a run blocker?
It just depends, how many people do they put in the box when he's in there? I think that's always part of it, If people stack the box and stop the run, then, it depends if we want to release him or we want to keep him in to protect. It all depends on the defenses and what we see with Cam being in there. There's sets that we have, obviously we're not going to talk about, but there's sets that we have that can give us a mismatch either way. And so that's what we're going to look forward to try to do, is to keep defenses off guard when he is in there. He'll be at a receiver position. He'll be at a tight end inline position. He'll be off the ball moving. He'll be on the other side of the formation as a receiver. We kind of have it all now that we've been able to see his skill set and adapt to what he does well.
in the kickoff return game?
Yes.
How do you? I mean, are we expecting to see the similar guys, or do you feel pretty confident with what you guys have?
Well,
back there?
it's so new right now. We just did it for a couple days, like you said, Sam, and we're going to have a big day tomorrow on it, and then also Thursday. So we'll get 2 solid days to kind of put some of our schemes in. We've been doing mostly individual. We've got a ton of weapons there because you add Speedy to it. Quiv comes back. He had some great returns last year in a secondary role, and then Trey Williams obviously is very talented. Again, I think now you look at another rookie like Armani Watts, who has a chance to come along throughout. And again, I don't know when it's going to be. You never know, but you got to plan accordingly. And then you got Trey Carson back there that's a very solid blocker, but also has great receiving hands, and he's a vertical guy that can run people over. So we'll use him in a primary return role sometimes too. So I like the whole group. We got to block better. That's what we're working on. I think we've investigated some things that will help us in our schemes, and we'll have a great opponent in South Carolina to see how we are. That's will be the true test. It's hard kick return wise because you just don't know until you get the live bullets coming down.
And James White getting a possible role in that blocking role.
No doubt. He's so versatile. He's strong. He's tough. He's got a lot. It's hard because he could play on the front line. He could play in the back end. And he's going to be a special teams warrior for us. He's done a great job so far in camp. And so he could be an off returner as well. But I just think with a veteran guy like Trey to help some of these younger guys through the kick return process of making decisions, where to catch it, helping them, some go calls, all different communication things that happen back there that you don't plan on. We'd like to have a veteran at first, and then as we start moving forward, we can move the rookies in there.
How close is Lambo to being back?
He probably could kick.
Yeah.
But, I think the biggest thing when you get a hamstring or a groin is that it's a lingering, muscle issue. And I think that's where we're worried about. We want him, when he's back, we want him to be full, and we don't want to see him go back on to being injured. And so I think he could probably kick. We're probably, 5 or 7 days away or whatever it's going to be. But he knows his body. He works tremendously hard. He's in great physical condition. And so him and I will continue to talk along with Dave Weir and Coach Sumlin, and then when he's ready, he'll come back.